Anope no your health conversation no ye ne Evans Adrah na ye ne no ebekasa or your registered dietitian ye kasa afa healthy living healthy eating na enne no me de practicals na na me wo mu enti me pe no stage by stage me sorry anapa mindi den me sorry ewie a mindi den me sorry enwumre a mindi den eno na ye ba beka eho asem ene wo show ne so. Good morning Evans.
Good morning Hajia.
Ya san ehia biem
Anio
ya san ehia biem ti no but before I made me questions na ebe ba no mami bi say general question say dietitians moye den.
Okay, me da see. Na me fa akonya kese Yesu atunchi akese. Ama etiefo ahodo bebria. Omu etie ebinum nsusu ehwe yen live ewo Facebook.
Happy FM 98.9.
Ye kasa efa dietitians ni ejuma omu ye ho a eye bebri kwa. Na dodo na esusu se ye ka se obi dietitian na nejuma eye sebi kitchen ana ejade enti owo omuntitie mu mpono dodo na a omuye omu colleagues no etumi esusu se omu de aduane nu ankwa ne omu ejuma but it is more and more than that.
Okay.
And it say eba ayarisa bia se obi nini pedua no mfumso ana bebi atochima na se ewo se ayarisa bia ebemu a dietitians ejidin ana omudi omejuma bibiri ewo hopa.
Okay.
Na me pese mesisu se eba yare bia ewo hospital ho a make I say dietitians a role very important.
Okay.
In the case of treatment and recovery no.
Okay.
Yadia ehu hia pa yi. Say yare a non-communicable diseases.
Okay.
Moja bruso BP ka ho eba sichiriaria ebinso wo ho se ba cholesterol bi wo ho anampo yo bibi ho aye friend trauma.
Okay.
Trauma ni kire se ase obi anya accident obi anya burns na se ye wo ICU intensive care unit enye endru nko na ebe sane yare dietitians we juma ehia wo ho se hwe enuane a enuane ndru ahye muma ebeboa ama emfa ne se kronu etumi ewu ntam.
Okay.
Na nipa no aye well recovered dietitians play major role. Se yeyi enu nsusu afi ho a binum ho a omo yare no so grievous to the extent say eduane no mpo entumi mfa omo anum na omo anya ensu mfaso. Entino some of them the tube den ehye omo ehwinimu ansana eduane alcohol ebi nso wo ho a emfa ehwinimu o se omo ye incision ewo omo efunu ho ansana omo di tube ahye ho before feeding ana eduane ndire ebetumi aden akoso. Sa processes most at times dietitians and ebeye caloric calculation se fa enamu a dodo saying na wo say edika ho se fa ye carbohydrate na dodo saying se fa ye fruit na how much or how many of that must or should the person eat and sana ni hu ayeden atono yeyi enu so fi a obi o hokrampo a through these channels me no amabobo so no enye possible e was say ye feeding intravenous. Intravenous ni say e was say ye di aduane no efa ni veins no mu ansana wetimi anya esu mfaso say eba sa critical care nyina dietitians den ebo omu ejuma ewo most of these areas. So say eba enjuma dietitians here so many say eba meal planning and caloric estimation say emfa say obi emudro abroni tintin so na say ope aduane abema no ahondindro ebeboa ama ne so atia. There is a way to go about the meal planning. Dietitians play major role say eba such process. Inti yejuma de eye bebre kwa.
Okay. Now, what's the difference between obia or a dietitian and obia or a nutritionist?
Good. Me da si wo honso so. Na difference no ejina scope and depth of practice no so.
Okay.
And I make it simple say eba yare ni bi wo ho a, it is better handled by a dietitian than, so to say a nutritionist.
Okay.
And say eba the in-depth of training in so dietitians no intitiya yedi omu efamu no sonkun say nia nutritionist no yeden efamu enu nso ebe kire nimdia omu ebe yeden ebewo. It's about proper management of diseases in so entino say ye kasafa entity mu any practical knowledge dia endienka dietitians no was through kakra saying nutritionist no.
Okay.
So that is how metimiaka for the layman to understand. I say yebeka say doctors wo and so to say nurses wo.
Okay.
So if you want to look at the two, the doctors are a bit ahead and then the nurses are supporting.
Okay.
So yenyina ye field no is related. Ebi enye den ending ho. But the truth is there are some things that are better handled by the dietitians instead of the nutritionists.
Okay. Now, is there anything like generalized proper eating habits and nutrition? Say, ebi obeka say as nipa, and I say as normal nipa biya de. Say, ene wose udidi.
Okay, me that's your ho. Say, eba ehwa. There are a lot of variations.
Okay.
Insani say yenyina yenyekro. Yenyekro say in terms of age. Yenyekro. Say eba apomudimu susu a yenyina yenyeden yenyekro. And say eba ye physical activity senia ye ahonkika etien susu a yenyina yenyeden yenyekro. But then no, there is always something to look up to. Yenyina yeduane die entimi nyepe. Ahondi a yenyina ehia for dakro enyepe. Sansusu na se ba enuane ndru nkitinkiti se eye ye vitamins ye mineral needs no. Yenyina yedie entimi nyeden entimi nyekro. But there is always a generalized approach. Now, maminka ensisu se on se uhwe plate a obi adidi umu a obia de enyepe obia de to some extent no variations here den ewomu obi de su obi de honey ho obi nsusu de den kitwa. So mostly what we do is say you use plate no for those who are healthy as a guide for one omu apomudin better no you use plate no as a guide for omu. So there is intichemu bi ewo ho a ewo say obia etumi ye emfa hu the size of plate nipa no edidi ewo mu. Eni say efa enuane na ye won chichemu ho ye caps wo ho anka ye befa ye starches say eye emu say eye nia ye nyafi ebromu ye nyafi wheat mu ye nyafi ofreni den ye grains no mu anampo ye starchy roots say eye body say eye bayire say eye manken say eye atomu ye wo yenum ye starch group no nti se ofa plate no na se ubedidi umu a ne ewo se nipa ni se obedi kan ache plate no mu into two.
Okay.
Na efa ba kun so ache mu into two.
Okay.
Nti se ufa starches na ewo se take quarter of plate no. Say eye banku say eye fufu say eye dokunu say eye emu say eye kokompo na nipa no eba benuma e wo say enu etiki quarter of ni plate no. na the other quarter no eno akọ enam a yedi beye den yedi beka aduane na yedi hu ebetimi aye fish ebetimi aye meat ebetimi aye kosua anampo yewo emre anka mushroom eno so eye den ewo ho eno so a very good source of protein ema ye nipedua no enti no quarter of plate no enka enko ema enam na half na aka no eno enkoma ye vegetables dientia ewo say yetumi yesa distributions you any say first starches na eno ema ye readily available energy anka ye friend glucose na say ye these starches na onze nkuto the heat kana ya enane enti no say ye mienu ye ko envanise market na wo nkuto awo kwa akoto no se etise mensa se ya na se wonane a on se obenya bebre efrimu ba me media no half a na se menane a media entumi ndoso te se nia wo wakoye den wakoto no entinu se nipa ni di starches ni bebre a no kwasem ni se nipedua no ebedane ni intisichire na sichire na ebefrimu aba no enu so ebeye den ebeye duduo na enti the right thing is ebeye den ebetiti starches no so emfa ho plate a wodidi ofimu uchemu into 4 quarter enkoma o starches no na se yefa ye vegetables na vegetables no enu sichire afrimu ba no endorso ti say ni every starches no ye den eba no enti the right thing ni say was enu eye duduo nti enu befa half of plate no oyubeka say vegetables ni ebini den ye were leafy vegetables ho say eye kontomre say eye gboma say eye ademe ye ni nyina eye den eye veggies ye no so firi ankruma eka ho nyadoa nso ka ho say fa ye carrot ye cabbage ye ni nyina eye den eye vegetables enti say ye nkwan o say ye froye o was say veggies ni eye den edos wo mu na say ye ba Africa ye wo a certain mentality na some mentality aye woni say obi esusu say wo bedidi amia agi say banku anafufu anadokunu ana ampesie nu eye bebre there be entisa say yetiti ye starches no so na say ye ma ye veggies no ye kwan ye fro ye no edoso a no kwasem ni say ye didi wi a still ye be ye den ye be mi enti ye titi ye starches no so no na ye ma ye veggies no ye fro ye no eni ye salads no aye den aye dodo e very very important say ye timihwe eye ni say ya ahonden dodo a ebe fi eduane ni mu aba no enhyeda endorse bebre say endorse bebre eni kire say nipedua no ebe fa kwan bi su aye den ayusu ni nyina ahonden ni nyina afri mu ba no obeyusu na ye obi go wa friend energy balance ni kire say ye hwe enuani dodo a obi edi eni ahonden dodo a afri mu ba no say ye di tutu ejuma a nipa no eyo no ho a aso eye pe ana enye pe se ahonde a nipa ne nya no edosu se ne wo yusu ana eni ne wo yusu no eye den eye pe ana ne wo yusu no ebu ne awo ye den wonya so these are two key things a e wo se ye nyina etwi yadwen etu ho ana eba ho eni se ne nipa no enya no se edosu se ne wo yusu na at the end of the day ebi beka
okay
na se ebi kanso so a ne pedua no ewo infa ne se stores a wo DCC or store for srade and our store nso for cholesterol na immediate storage store no and ye glycogen obi wa e friend no glycogen enti no se ye didi e ma ne bruso a ahondi no ebi beko srade ebi beko cholesterol se sa aba so a ema nipa no ni mu eye den ni mu eye du that is exactly what goes on enti no e was say yetumi boy humodin a na ye ndidi in such a way say ahondi dudu a ye benya no ebe say ye di tutu ye djuma yo no ho a ebe ye pe ema ebi enye den enka for nipedua no to store
okay
so that is the general way quarter of a plate no Enfa wo starches no. Wo mo se eye broduani o, se mankanyi o, se ya tomu, se eye fufu, se eye banku, se dokuno enteki quarter of full plate no. Then quarter quarter enfa wonam any wo yenfa ni say wo protein no say eye fish o, eye meat o, eye kosia o, eye meal enu enye den enteki quarter. Now vegetables no enteki half of the place. This is a generalized way you bet to me ADD without giving or paying proper attention. Say obi nd enfa ni say body susu and so say ana emo susu and so say no. Say to me follow say it is possible. Say yebenya bibia
now say we are not able to tell amount for say ebia body di mienu di baako eno ene be constitute eye wo plate a wache mu 3 no. Na nipa no memfa ni say ni plate no wache mu se ne wachire say ubeche mu mienu na half no wasan ache no so mu mienu no oche mu saa no emo no we see ne tententen
okay
wo plate no so ena meat no watwetwe mu nkitenkete na no so waboa no etise kebab egu so ena vegetables ne de watete mu be 6 ena ode apete saa side no obeye de nya the required amount na anka eno ena wo so onya no.
Very good. Senia medi kan ekano. Dodo na ebetimi aye ne hip as I said. But then you know, to be fair to yourself, say obedi nukre ama wo ho. Say ma church mu say ufa carbs no bebre a. Ne wie ye no, won say enu ye sichiri nti at the end of the day ubenya sichiri no si den bebre. Enti na ye no these division of the plate, to ensure say at the end of the day, woman will start is not taking quarter, ebema under normal circumstance, do esubeye den esubeti, because for most people half and eteki almost touches, so say yet to me a call back. Na say ye manu edani even say quarter na at the end of the day esu ebeye den esu beti. That is one key thing na me pese etiefo nyina ebetwi omwadwen atoso. Say eye half a ye ntiso. Say na embeda ni quarter.
Okay.
Na half na every munu. Yemfa enu ema ye vegetables no.
Okay.
Anka ewo for yemu. Say yetumi ye ni say ya enu ebe den ebeboa wonim say the problem say dodo na eni ahondin dodo a omuhia for that crew obia eni dodo a obehia na say yemfa ni say obi mpo nim dodo a obehia in a day a wonim portions and sizes a obey den obekika bom ansana wetumi anya ebi 1500 calories in a day 2000 calories in a day so say eba caloric estimation there are most people that cannot be able to do it. And that can only be done one-on-one with the nutritionist and our dietitian. Aside that, it will be difficult for the general population to go ahead and estimate their caloric needs.
Okay.
That is one key thing. Me say etiefo nyina etwomagin etoso.
Okay.
So say to me eye nchechemu no se ne ma kire na it is always possible that people are going to have everything in moderation.
Okay.
Ebi enye den enbuso.
Okay. Now is there a case ebia me fan say obi wo ho a obetumi etumrika efi ha akosi ekodu cycle in terms of exercise. Obi su wo ho a de bia na edwuma oye no otu form saa nipa no me a meti akonwa so esi air condition mu yi rice a medi no saa nipa ne betumi edi dodo a chen de amemetumi edi nana.
Very good. Enti no say ye kasa efa physical activity no ho a ne wotina faako enhia that much as near sabi water maker anania water to form anania wo bobo anania wo any form of active sports bia there is a difference. Enti na medi kan ka say ye fa aduane a ye di a nyoma bebre ena ewo say ye hwe ansa na yetumi atusi bi ama obi. Medi kan ka say age is one of the things. Physical activity ahonkeka ayeden eka ho. Enti nia wo ye ejuma wo to from warrant say ana wo to mrika ana wo ye construction work ana manual work ano ni ahondin duduo a obehia no definitely higher than nia otina fako ana wo ye office worker. That is one key thing. However, there are individual metabolic differences ewo ho. Obi oha ni metabolism ewo so. Se mekasa efa metabolism no ha enu ejina hom akwanya nipedua no processi enwane nduro na efri aduane no mu aba no. Obi oha ni metabolism osro. Enti wodidi sisi a quickly nipedua no ebe yusu enwane nduro no eni ahondi nduro na ebe yeden ebe free mu aba. Enti sa oninu ebe timi aye office worker. But inside he said the metabolism was runtinu. Ebia onu krampo nu se uhwe nia obehia na se di tutu nia se bi wo komrika no ho a ebia na oni ni die nu krampo ya ayepe.
Okay.
So there are many things that I was say consider. So there is a lot of individual variations and the right way to do it. Any say you have to be one-on-one if possible with the dietitian, with the nutritionist. We look at your total caloric, requirement for the day. Now, to me, I calculation. Okay, ube here ebia for breakfast. Enam dudu say. Ube here, your friend is starch dudu say. Ube here sradie dudu say. That is how it is supposed to be with the normal person. Say anyesa. Se yanhwe ebia na nia otumrika no yebesusu se onu krampo obehia mo se nia otina faako but because of metabolic differences nintinu ebia na anko anye den anko yepe, so we have to calculate. Okay, we have to find out to do estimation.
So if we are calculating then it would obviously end in proper measurement.
Exactly.
Into other dietitians for no all the time, no mostly no. Let me put it that way. With generalized information, no, you don't drive towards calculations, but Moka say teso, just teso. Maybe that's our question. No, based on plate me ekutamine. Obviously, way so a chain way. Obi wo ho ani plate ni a odididi mu fie. Obi so ho ani plate ni. Enti no so wo ka kire obi a odidi wo plate we mu se chemu 2. Na wa che one side mu 2. Now they will starch na egu ha. Now they will protein egu ha. Now they will veggies egu ha. Now we so de no onu so chemu the same obviously no we benya smaller quantities than we. Obi kra ani plate no so chain we.
Yeah.
Enti no ande na monye no measurement say bia obeka say fa kwankra de edisa nkwan no tin rice mienu miensa baako
medase wo ho
yusu
medase pa. This is one key question I have always been waiting for. Na say you ka say obinti so it is based on an estimation and a calculation yen yaye yetumi ehu say dudu na nipa no edinu edoso dudu.
Yeah.
And that is what warrant say nipa no wanye den wanting nia oye den wudi so. And we do with a lot of the measurement. You will be our friend handy measures. Most of all the dietitians, including nutritionists, are very, very familiar with. And to say, menu etinasi, na se me ma dietary advisor. Me meka se dibiano me di tutu bebe ho. And to met me aka say okay emonu fa kwantri dudu say. That is how I hear. But when we are on air, according to our scope of practice, the way we are coached to do our work, yen far specific portions in tujwa. say okay obia endi emu so to say stewing leader no mienu stewing leader no miensa enan esani say nipadon bebria omuti ye no omu nutritional requirement no so different and say me the way etudwo a at the end of the day near ni mudru was crampa or person or lose weight no it is most likely say onu so be den will go that way. Okay. Near where severely underweight. Yes, you can say Nimudru Nukra Ebe Pejano. It is most likely so on Nusubeye Day ebe go the same way of eating. Yeah. So when on air, no, we don't give out specific portions. Say Ubia ending say, but we are able to do the calculation. So Obiba mention. Na say dietary consultation sir me wo bibi wo ho me ye IFR nutritional assessment from the word go I want to know bebia nipa no ewo me sorry prekope enka nkire nipa ni say ne wodi no wonye den want so okay I will always have a reason to tell nipa kron say want so ana ne wodi no o maninye den endorse okay and everything is born out of calculation. Now, some of the calculations, it is done, within our subconscious mind. Let me put it that way. Now, I thought that patient say, okay, me calculate carbohydrates now. Portions are over here, a quine me faso and sana me nya and the mathematics and calculations are me and sana me arrive at that any we don't mostly tell the people like that. But anything we do is out of calculation. It is not to say yenya baya teso debi. And yes ana yechuma no etie. Ye ni wudi no ebe to standard ho na ya share say ye nia ebe boawo ana emboawo and sana we go ahead to give it.
Doc me da say e won chima dia but now one of the most controversial asema APA this week banku.
Okay.
Banku no yendi ni sen.
Me da say say eba banku no ni dia. I will still, because a lot of people are listening and watching, I will still go the way of the plate. Banku no castaches no. So for the healthy population no. Say enfa hu senia plate na eda wenima wodididi no any age whatever you want to have would ye no this division no quarter eno enteki woden wo bank no but if you want to be so measurable no research ye saying and say sa whole grains any starches no every 4 servings that is how research is saying. Now, yenka say anase ka say 7 enu den. Say fa fufu, ye fa dokunu, ye fa banku, 7 den. Me pese etifo nyina den etiase. 7 medium size orange. Enu nti se ufa ubanku udokunu ana fufu. Na se wudi tu orange ana anka ho na se the kesiye eti say anka medium size ni ho a and that is equal to a 7. Now research say and say den ye di more than that in a particular day. That is how it's supposed to be. Okay. But however, if we are to go by my plate, it is still supposed to take quarter of the plate in a day.
Into me press so e.
Oh, say banku de untumi empresso.
Me to impress banku so.
Oh, banku no.
Hot banku pa.
Yet me impress so. Say uchichire. Just as I'm saying, so uchichire na say size it is a medium size orange. It is a 7. And it say who happy and it say more say who press here. E betimi aye den akofom ana enti se wachi a wo hipi ana wo press here e be den e be kofom but se wo chichiri normal size say na wo restaurant say wo akoto banku na say chichiri say size no it is a medium size orange no is equal to a 7.
Na sugar if sugar ye dugu kokomumi and any sugar ebi amenya wo banku ana emu no, is it the same thing?
Okay, thank you about that. Sugar eno a simplest form of carbohydrate dada.
As in the raw white sugar moton.
Good.
Okay.
Enti banku na ye di fufuo na ye di emu na ye di no. Ye di bia ni wie ye eye den, eye sitri. Na sa sitri no potoka sam ye friend glucose.
Enti what I want to know is say glucose no. And any white sugar ya ye ton okroma me di begu kokomo, is it the same?
They are all the same. Ni nyina eye the same thing. Enti ni o di raw sugar no, onu so benya glucose. Ne wedi banku, wedi fufu, wedi emu, ana wanum koko, no so benya den, e benya sugar.
Because
it's the same as
maybe some question
that.
Because obi hold me ka say o me ndi sugar. But nipa ni bedi banku, obedi rice.
Yeah.
Enti na ni sugar no ndi no e kire sen. And I want to know between eating banku, getting sugar from banku or rice, and eating raw sugar no, which is dangerous to your health.
Very good. The sugar is more dangerous than the banku.
Okay.
Let me explain. Once nyankopon edi nika atu yemu. Se yedi bibia ni beduane ntu ni bu no nyam ansana end product ana enuane duna afrimu ayeden aba. Na se ufa sugar no anasi chenu a enu se yedi a entu ni bu ennane. It's already in the simplest form. And it's straight into the bloodstream.
Okay.
Nti ebema blood glucose level no ayeden akoso intem. But se obidi banku fufuo dokunu mankenyi a nipedua no etu ne bu ebubunu nkakra na sichire nu nso afrimu aba nkakra enu enya bum tisania nipa no ebeden ebenya efri ino sichire nu mu.
Okay.
So that process of digestion no ebe delay the rate of sugar production no, and it's a rate no slow down and also kire say doduo a ebe feed duane no aba at a time enye bebre prekope.
Okay.
And doduo nso so a ebe ramu janu mu nso no enye bebre prekope. It's going to happen gradually. And it's a wushare digestion it takes between 2.5 hours to 3 hours for food to be properly digested. Input and sana absorption ayeden aba. Enti ni obedi ana ni obe yusu sugar no say eye soft drink mu say eye cocoa and so on. The truth ni say sichire no duduo ebewra moja no mu atego as compared to ni awedi dokunu wedi banku and so on. And such intake no ebetimi ama obi anya ahonde no mpo in excess. Na waye overweight ana waye obese.
Okay.
Than near sebi obedi yeden obedi banku no. Because of the slowed down digestion process in India.
Matthias, is there anything like alternative in Rihanna?
Alternative to
what we already have. Ebia to say sugar say no be aka say me mindi white sugar into ebia me di dates and I me di ade bia natural me di gu meduane ni mu a ebema na ye de to say dia me di sugar egu.
Very good. Thank you for that. So an alternative to sugar de ye wo bebre wo ho. In fact, it's a table sugar no. One key thing I will always recommend and he say ye fa sugars na a lot of health diseases and health conditions are associated to them. So near yebetimi aye no, which I'm so happy about with the way no, a substitution of the sugar for natural ones. Say obi beverages and soft drinks do na edisichi and a day and a good. But we can change the status quo. Instead of the normal table brown sugar, white sugar and so on no. You bet me use your fruits no. Once a fruit no and so den doko. But the source is natural. So it will be better to use the juices from the fruit to sweeten beverage na nipa ne den prepare to take rather than putting in raw sugar. That is one key thing na pepe say etiefo enye den enye. Then we also have natural sweetness ewo ho. Now because of ethical reasons intinu yembubo ebi eyeden ebi din ewo on air. But your natural sugars and a sweetness ewo ho in most of the supermarkets. Dodo na betimi ayeden akoto to use in place of the sugar. Eno no affect nipa no ni blood sugar and a glucose level. After taking it, the body has a way of getting rid of them. Emra yemoja nemu. Entinu say yebetumi achusu some of these substitutes now. It will be better than going for the raw sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Na eba no banku ni fufu ni ade so.
For the banku and the fufu, there are no direct substitutes.
Okay.
But we can do certain modifications to reduce the starch content and the energy density of such foods.
Like what?
For example, say about grains na you bet me aye sprouting.
Okay.
Sprouting ni chere say uba soke grains say eye ebro, say eye beans, say eye nkatie. Ubet me asoke na usoki via for a day or two. Na we epie.
Okay.
Na was spready. Umukakra na was spreading you. So kopim se ebesha ase
efifri. Okay.
Kopim se ebesha ase efifri.
Say na omoye asana no.
Okay. Nti se esha ase se efifri sa na wakoye den wakonyam. Se ye ni sa the energy density no eye den eba form. Other micronutrients, to say iron, dodo eye den ekosru. So that is one modification. Ye betimi aye ama ye grains no. Then say eba ye baby to say banku and so on. Usually there is nothing to do about them. And then say if baby to say emua, there is one way to discharge. And he says so we shall say unua. And so now what she egusu no ube sone and ube shegu now send the fufro egusu. That is another way of getting
like
rid of
parboiling.
Parboiling. Very good. Thank you for that. That is another way of getting rid of some of the starch. But to say we have direct substitute for say banku and so on, no, there be.
Okay.
That is how I want to end.
Evans, Anope, you better say very, very insightful conversation, and I have that's say Ubeka and Evans Adrah a registered dietitian. Into no nitia wemwa and they say no matter who needs also who dietitian normal tailored a year plan depending on at the crontia who here a year dietitian.